Alright. So I was thinking on making a talking video this time with the title Why Off-Grid is Not for Everyone. And I was thinking of telling you first where I lived before I went out to the countryside, and then a little bit about my experience living in the country. So I was living in a fairly nice apartment in the city, where I had my own balcony and nice neighbors and own parking spot for my car. And there was not a far distance to a small forest or to the beach or anywhere else I wanted to go. But it was also very close to the city. And what happened was during the corona, I was sick and tired of my neighbors and everybody else in the city. And I thought that the city became more and more boring and empty of life. It was getting quite quiet. And that led me to dream more about having a country house. And I had been thinking about that for years, actually, because I wanted to get my own place where I could grow my own food. Because until then I had just been growing food on my balcony, which was nice, but I wanted my own space to grow food. And I wanted my own wood stove for cozy nights and more nature in the environment. So what happened was in 2021 I sold my city apartment and I went to a house in the mountain and I bought it. And this was a quite big property with a lot of wood on it and my own wood stove and my own well, so I would not be dependent on others for water, and I could have stayed without electricity too, although it was attached to the electricity system. So this was an old 70s house, and it was far from any city center and the town center. It was 7 kilometers to the food shop. And that's one thing to take into consideration when you move into a desolate area, that it will actually be quite far to get the things that you need unless you can support yourself with everything. So it was far to the city center and not many neighbors. There were just a few farmers, and I thought that would be nice because that's quiet. And then the winter came and the weather conditions proved to be quite harsh. It was a hard winter. It was like 3 to 4 meters of snow, and my whole first entrance snowed. It was snowed shut, and my car was stuck in the garage because I couldn't get it out because of all the snow. And it was very much work plowing the snow, and I had to depend on the neighbor to use his tractor because I didn't have one to plow snow. And even if I plowed the snow in front of the garage, I couldn't get the car out because the angle was too tight, so I couldn't get my car out. So I had to walk the 7 kilometers to the store. And it was kind of nice because I had a husky, and this husky lived with me for all the year that I lived in this mountain house, and it was nice company. And we had a lot of walks outside in the nature, up in the mountains and by the road. And the dog made it easier for me to get to know the neighbors in the beginning. But so the weather condition, that's the second thing you gotta think about when you are desolate, because there is not the same service functions as in the city when it comes to plowing. And the third thing is, do you actually get along with the neighbors? Because in the city it's not so important, because compared to where I lived in the city we were all owning the same property, and we walked about in the same property, and we got along fine. No big conflicts. But in the countryside, it was nice to begin with, but then in time, these farmers, they started to get kind of suspicious at me. They were thinking I was some kind of spy, and I took pictures and videos I wanted to grow a YouTube channel, so I took videos. And their property is kind of big, so it's not so far you can go without landing on someone else's property. So they kind of started to tell bad stories about me in the neighborhood, and that kind of did so I would drive less, and there was also this fourth thing, the location of the place that I lived. It was inside a valley, so there was no lights whole winter. It was dark from the middle of October to the middle of February. There was no sun in the spot where I lived, and I had to walk up from the valley to get sun. And as I didn't use my car, this was getting kind of monotonous. It was getting kind of boring to just walk forth and back in the same valley. I would go up the hill to the mountains, and that would be nice, but in time it would be just the same trails. So I didn't enjoy it very much. And in summer it was quite a wet summer. It was a lot of rain, and it was a bit more sun, but it was still quite shadowy, and my house was in the shadow, and it was not possible to grow anything edible there, because there was too little sun. So I didn't reach my goal on growing stuff in the garden, although I did pick a lot of mushroom, and I was having, that was another thing I was getting a bit short on funds. And that's the fifth thing you gotta think about. Do you have actually economy to live like that? I was getting kind of short on funds, so I was eating, for a period, I was eating only mushroom and some cheap fish that I bought from a traveler by. So my dinner would be mushroom and fish every day. That would be also kind of monotonous. And then the sixth thing, you're really dependent on a car. And I would eat not quite a lot the whole winter. So in the spring, when the spring came, I would have kind of low blood sugar, and I would drive out on a day that I shouldn't have been driving. and I would do a mistake in the traffic, and I lost my license. So, and I was without my license for, well, about a year because I got this epileptic attack. I was fainting, and so I was without my license the whole summer and the whole autumn, and it was getting kind of too much for me. So in the end, I just decided to sell my mountain house again, and I lost quite a bit of money on that. But I had to think for myself. It was, well, it was worth the experience, and I don't know, maybe it was. There was a lot of nice nature, and there was this experience with the dog, this husky that I had for company, and but it was kind of lonely in that valley, and I didn't get along with the neighbors, and it was far to the town center, and no communication to get around, especially with the dog. So it went kind of bad. But I made a lot of YouTube videos about mushroom in that period. It's in my channel here. So now I just decided to move. I've been living in a little town for the last year in the center, and I moved back to where I originally came from, where I had been settling. I was settling here for 15 years before I moved to the countryside. So I moved back here, but I have a fairly good size on my apartment, and it's close to city center, so I can walk and get my own food when I want to. And I could walk to the library, and I could walk to the swimming pool, and there's people outside, and I could walk to the shopping center if I want to see people. Or I could walk on a cafe with my friends, and in some ways it's kind of easier, but I don't have a car anymore. I don't have a space for a car anymore, and I don't have a balcony. So I don't have anywhere to grow food. So per today, my situation is worse than it was before I decided to move to the countryside. So I don't think off-grid is for everyone. You have to have a fairly amount of resources to be able to deal with it, and amongst that is, of course, the social resources you need to get along with everyone in your neighborhood, because or else they will create this gossip about you, and you'll be cast out. So yeah, that's my talk on why everybody should not, why off-grid is not for everyone. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the talk. It was a bit different from other content I have on this channel. Let me know if you have some feedback, or if there's anything you'd like me to post there that I haven't been posting before, or what you think about the channel. Please like and subscribe and share if you wish to. Share. Yes. So goodbye. Have a nice day. It was nice talking to you.